Yes, it is Marvel Contest of Champions news time. I've not actually made a MCC news for a long time, probably well over a week, as I took some time off. I don't ever announce when I'm going to take any kind of time off, but I do. And I made about 13 videos which I put out. Some are good, some are just good filler, and other ones I'm drawing feedback from you guys. And in particular, Contest of Memes 3, and we'll kind of go on that into a moment. There's a lot of things going on personally with me and stuff that's happened not affecting me but has affected me. I'm going to just get on and make content and kind of like get it out of my mind and kind of like thought process, and I'm not going to go into the particular reasons why it is bothering me, but I'm just going to continue on and make my content at the same time. Keep upbeat as possible because I do want to just feel as much positivity as possible. So without further ado, let's jump into these news stories. First story up is Contest of Memes 3. Guys, it's out on the channel. If you could, please do me a solid. Give it so much support because like the amount of time that goes into this, as well as like I'm really passionate about the jokes. I think the jokes are pretty solid this time, whereas the first one and the second one weren't too good. This one is really darn good. So if you want to see a meme of Dork Lessons, if you want to see a meme of Brian Grant, please go over and give the video a lot of support. Share it with friends as well as kind of watch it multiple times. You will not regret it. A lot of the stories you'll know about, they're kind of follow-up pieces, but at the same time I'm kind of announcing a few things that are coming into the game. So today has gone live the matchmaker, finally, because I've had problems with the guys saying like, hey, someone done a milestones. No, I haven't done a milestones, and it's like, oh, I'm frantically trying to get assistance. But shout out to Young Flips, who's been giving me a lot of time to kind of get my milestones with me when I'm finding it difficult to kind of do a lot of stuff around things like work and other commitments. So, you know, thank you for doing me a solid. At the same time, I hopefully will be doing live streams where I get to kind of interact with people and do this. But thank you as well for anybody that's kind of gone, hey, well, I'll invite Rich, he's on my friends list, we'll do some dungeons and also my alliance. But now that the matchmaker's in, this is really great. So if I'm in a real pickle and I need someone quickly, then matchmaker is there for us, and you can you know, get paired up accurately, because it may be a case that someone else might want to do a map 6 and you're like, hey, well, I don't have strong enough champions to do a map 6 run, I can probably only do a map 5, a map 4 or even lower, so therefore the champions need to be scaled against one another applicable to that. So you know, that's really positive. Really glad to see matchmaking come in. So make sure you're doing your matchmaking and find that fellow buddy that's going to match up, you know, accurately. But do be warned and do keep it very chill, because it will be a case that someone else may not be as good as you as a player. You may even suck when it comes to someone else. So do be respectful to one another and go, oh, fiddly-dee, we didn't get as far, but you can always matchmake again in order to kind of get through those milestones that you require. Following on with other dungeons-based news, this particular post, which is like, hello guys, he does make a lot of very valid points with regards to the extent of grind with dungeons. I myself really like dungeons, but it's not made with amazing positivity from me, and I think that is shared by a lot of the community. The grind time with regards to doing dungeons is a lot longer than I think people understand, and it is going to get worse when it comes to being very competitive with Alliance Wars Seasons 2. When that eventually goes live, we're going to see an extensive amount of stuff going in. The way that Thanos has been tipped in the next monthly quest, which I think obviously we're going to see tomorrow, but I think is going to be more powerful than what we experienced with Guillotine when it comes to uncollected, as well as a like boss. It's going to really frustrate a lot of players running so many different, or having so many powerful champions needed in different areas of content. Yes, you can refill when it comes to dungeons, but then that becomes an expense based on your unit grind, and then that forces people in arenas, which then creates more of a problem with regards to like hitting milestones and also cutoff predictions. So there's a circle of real problems when it comes to understanding the fairness of this, and when the game starts becoming unfair. And I don't mean unfair when we're talking about the like game glitches, lag and stuff, because that's a different kind of unfair, but I'm talking unfair with regards to this having to be the only game that you theoretically have to play to make any further advancement based on stuff going on. So thank God in some ways that Dungeons is for 1 month. Yes, it's going to be great with regards to what you can pick up Infinity Dust wise and also those dark artifacts, and you know, it's very disappointing when you miss the day. So you know, it's a bit of a grind, and I do sympathize with a lot of things said in this post, but I am glad obviously there's newer things coming into the game. With the disappointments for people when it comes to rifts, then we need something there, but I think there's a lot on in at the moment in the game. And following on from this, great forum post, worth a read with regards to is the game getting too overwhelming? Really strongly suggest you go in and take a look at this, because you know it does kind of represent a lot of things that people are experiencing from different levels of the game. And yes, the answer is yes, you don't have to do all the content, but at the same time, the most valuable stuff is always at the end. So it's like saying, okay, so at my particular level, oh, I only did round 3 because I didn't have the time to do round 4 of the Chadwick and Tom event. Then you kind of go, well, that's silly, because the better stuff is at the end. They're not as good as rewards, but you know, it would be best to do it. And I think a lot of people are in that boat, like the uncollected stuff, because the level of difficulty, like Kabam have really scaled the last 2 months. Like, well, it will be the May one is going to be difficult with Thanos, and then this month with regards to Guillotine is going to be difficult as well. I think really the Thanos is kind of being represented with regards to buffs. Where I've succeeded in this Chadwick and Tom event is based on power locking and power stealing, power burning with regards to magic. Oh, gem of a champion, by the way. If anybody's thinking about a champion to use against Thanos, then amazing, and I'll be doing a video of that later today. But that's the thing, isn't it? Like, again, so many champions, so many like powerful champions required for different things, but when it regards to like content changes and say champion changes, as boss changes, man, there's it's not going to be very pretty when it comes to trying to get through the more difficult content, which we theoretically, as I said, have to do to get the best rewards. Next up, it starts a freight train of issues when it comes to, well, issues. In the game at the moment, there's a litany of issues. In particular, and start with the chat issue, in that, yeah, you couldn't see a chat. I think this has been rectified now, but at times it is like, where's my chat? Why is my chat not coming up? It wasn't very good when it comes to dungeon communication, because that theoretically either was done through line or it was done through other means. So yeah, like, it's something that's really needed, especially when you're kind of feeding out instructions to people like, I'd like this node down, I like that node down. Yeah, so I think this has pretty much been resolved, but this is a known issue. And even though it's been a week since the release of the update, we are still inundated with a litany of issues. As I said previously, it just goes on and on. Very disappointing with regards to delivery of this. And my own personal take on this is that I just don't know how I should be as a representative of the game through YouTube. As I said in previous MCC news, I do find it a little bit embarrassing, this extent of issues, especially when you're talking about other games that don't experience things like this. And then it's a case of, like, again, you've got to up your game with regards to delivery. Is this a technical issue? Is this a build issue? Is this as an issue with regards to the system, the game engine? So many things to really consider for this. And I have said in the past, a long time ago, maybe they should consider a Marvel Contest of Champions 2 that really hammers out a lot of these issues, the same way that Injustice went to Injustice 2, and you know, that's a good solid game. I know that it's not everybody's taste, but at the same time, that's the need, kind of going, hey, you know, how do we make a good thing? And they go and do that with a second version, and maybe that's something that they should consider in the future. And if you want to check out the full list of things that are not working, nice to see a full list of things that are working, then go to the link in the description below and go and take a look for yourself. Next up, and you probably are well aware that Kabam are stepping up when it comes to account sharing or piloting, whatever you want to call this. And this is this is met with very mixed reaction, especially when you look at like top tier alliances, like how they're going to feel about the situation. It's a very difficult thing to think, how will they be able to police this? Will they be able to understand certain aspects with regards to logins in order to clamp this down? And effectively, it may change the scheme of things when it comes to alliance questing, alliance wars, obviously, when it comes to activity from a said alliance. At the moment, account sharing is very much the elephant in the room, in that people know about it, it happens, and it's there, but they don't mention it. It should be kind of odd to look around and think of an elephant theoretically in a room. I think my whole setup would be crushed and obviously I'd have to mention it. Anyway, that's a sidewind. The main aspect of account sharing obviously is to make people have a life, and it has been documented in a very public way when it comes to CANON of Legends doing a video about trying to enjoy his Valentine's Day and have someone cover his account, which obviously meant that a Killmonger was placed in Alliance Wars defense, and you all know the story with that. In any case, this is something that will reduce down people's, I'd say, interest at a top level into the game, especially if they can't have that their life and at the same time grind out the game. I know we talk about the confines of it being fair in game, but also we have to understand that people have to have a life. And even with this month and the extent of content that which we've discussed in this game currently, it is very much a time grind aspect. I myself find that I'm doing at least 20 hours of arena grind over a weekend, just because I want the units. I really can't be bothered with putting more money into the game currently. The price scaling is off the chart ridiculous, and as well I'm trying to save up for a computer, and I'm very sore about and kind of really peed off about the extent of money I had to put in for the Sabertooth opening with feature Grandmaster crystals and going, hey, what a waste. But that all being said and learning my lessons, moving on to the whole aspect of fairness, and it is touched upon in this by Kabam Mike. His point is that if people are grinding out fairly, then they should then be treated fairly, and the people that are allowing other people to access their accounts with regards to like taking them through content, it's a no-no. So expect a lot of people to be dropping off the game. I definitely know of people that are going to be doing it. So yeah, that's one thing. And obviously roll on the people that want to come into the game, but at the same time, it's all about the loyalty from the previous ones, and obviously keeping the new ones excited is really important. So a lot of balancing act for Kabam to do in this one, and it's a very difficult thing to have policed, and we'll obviously hear more about this in the coming weeks, how people are feeling and also how it's going to affect the placements of Alliance Wars Seasons 2 when it comes to the results. So very excited to see the outcome of this. And on to our final story, and this is, well, it's going further with regards to Alliance Wars, except we're not talking about piloting, we're now talking about buffs, and yeah, talking about fairness as well, with unfair buffs that are going to be added to certain nodes to make them more difficult, therefore making it more of a spend. So yeah, give with one hand, take it with another. The whole aspect of these new buffs going in is going to see an extensive change to maybe the way that people plays, and you have to play a lot more cautiously. But the same token, that certain nodes are going to be so frustrating, I think that players will have to really consider whether or not they're going to have to spend units in order to propel themselves through this content. And theoretically, you know, is it going to spend people's glory, which you know, people use for resources nowadays, or Alliance Wars potions and stuff. But I think that people would like to spend on resources to kind of rank up champions. A list of the new buffs can be found in the description below. It will take you to the forum post and you get to see them here. I still am on the thinking that they didn't really need to do this, and I wonder who kind of gave this feedback to say this is what they need to do. Is this as well based on the scaling of the game and based on 6 stars coming in and ranking up those? Is that the case? Is rank 5 stars? Is this the reason that they've put this in? I don't really know if they needed to put them in. I mean, the difference is it's not about you and the kind of the skill aspect. Yeah, you've got 3 champions, but you may not have the right type of champion in order to kind of make this more easier. Yeah, you could do all your evades, you could do all your intercepts and stuff like that, but at the same time, things like Bane and things like Power Leak, there's loads of kind of like micro things as for me to list off. The list is here. You know, with 3 champions, how are you going to get that diverse aspect of different things? Yes, you can bring in your power control. Yeah, you can bring in some other one like heal reversal. Will you have the extent of stuff that you require in order to get through this stuff easy? And the probably answer is no. So therefore you have to spend in order to kind of take your champions further. Either way, like I said before, I'd be excited to find out like how does it affect people going forward. I mean, it's not really exciting, but at the same time, it's interesting to see how Kabam can change things with regards to the game and feel that they are getting the necessary feedback from all types of players with regards to stuff they're implementing, because, you know, this doesn't seem by the people for the people, it's by the company for the people, and doesn't feel that there's a communication based on this and what the whole idea of thinking behind this? Who have they gone to kind of trial this information? Who is actually playing with regards to the alliance side of things? What are the main things? What champions are they using? Like, feedback with regards to that information we just do not get. But I don't know, maybe I'm absolutely wrong on the situation. I'll pass it over to you in the comment section. What do you think about these Alliance Wars changes to buffs? Are they going to really impact your roster with regards to who you bring in? Are you going to have to be assigned paths? Are you going to have to change the amount of glory you spend each week because it's going to have to be squarely on health potions in order to kind of get yourself through this? Are you going to have to get in the loyalty revives when it comes to that? Thoughts in the comment section below. So that concludes the first episode of Marvel Contest of Champions news for the month of May. This is my return back to doing MCC news, so do expect another one probably around about Thursday, Friday time, as there's probably going to be more issues and stuff to talk about in the world of Marvel Contest of Champions. So if you enjoyed watching this video, then hit that like button and subscribe for more Marvel Contest of Champions based content. Hit the notification button. Oh yeah, make sure you support Contest of Champions memes. It's the first link in the description below, and hopefully I can catch you on a live stream, and as always I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.